I don't know how to name this or how to call this, to be quite honest with you. Whether this is some kind of like a really, really difficult problem that you have been dealing with for such a long time, or this is to do, my gorgeous Leonie, most likely with you wanting something so badly, but it's just not happening whatsoever. It is to do a lot with, you know, your future and with how you want your life to be and the path that you have found yourself currently on. Something has terribly slowed you down. But you know, to be quite honest with you, my gorgeous Leonie, this is not a bad thing whatsoever. This is actually going to be really remarkable, because the more you were slowed down over the last couple of years, the better outcome it's actually going to be, because already by the end of July 2023, you know, what are you going to have on your mind? It's gonna be ludicrous, like in compared to what are you having on your mind right now. And when I say what are you going to have on your mind, it's going to be literally ludicrous. It's only because like it's very difficult to explain. Within this stage, within this period, from the beginning of July right until the end of July, there are so many things that are gonna happen. There are so many things that are going to unfold. There are so many things that you're actually going to go through. You cannot imagine this whatsoever. There are going to be so many surprises throughout this month. But the bottom line is that by the time you get and you reach the end of July 2023, the experiences and everything you've been throughout the month of July is going to change you, like in so many different ways, but it's mostly going to change you only because of the experiences that you've actually gathered along. And this in itself, it's like, oh my God, it's gonna contribute towards so much in your life. And that means that by the end of July, you are because you're gonna be through so many things, the decision that you're gonna make by the end of the July, there is absolutely no way that you would be able to guess what that decision is actually going to be. There is absolutely no way. But this decision that you're gonna make, it's gonna be absolutely brilliant, absolutely remarkable. It's gonna be miraculous, and in itself, this is actually going to be a real blessing, because the decision that you are going to make, there is absolutely no way that you could guess throughout the months of July what this is going to be. But I will tell you one thing, that the last 7 days of July are gonna play absolutely mind-blowing role when it comes to all this. So within the last 7 days of July, something very interesting is going to unfold. And what is going to unfold within the very last 7 days of July, it's also at the same time going to provide you with some kind of knowledge and some kind of realization. It's going to provide you with a spiritual key, and that means that spiritual key is going to unlock the door, which are going to speed things up for you like there is absolutely no tomorrow. And this in itself is going to create a pathway which is going to make you to kind of have such a big jump, you know, from where you are right now towards where you want to be. And let me tell you something, that by the end of September 2023, your life is going to be completely different. Every single aspect of your life is going to start changing, just because what are you gonna be going on, what you're actually gonna go through the months of July 2023. Absolutely mind-blowing indeed. And let me tell you this, at around the 10th of July, and very interesting that your number when it comes to numerology, it's 107. So we do have number 10 in here, and we do have number 7 here. this is ever so significant because this is the 7th month of the year, which is number 7, and now you have 107 again in your number when it comes to numerology. So that, you know, that means that you're going to have a really beautiful, gorgeous spiritual experience on the 7th of July, and then again on the 17th of July 2023. Both of these beautiful spiritual experiences are going to help you to reconnect with yourself, but it's also going to point out completely what is actually missing in your life, you know, in terms of what is going to make you so much happier. This life is too short, my babies, to not to explore and not to kind of do things and not to try things while we are still alive, you know. So this is why this is so important indeed. But going back to, so 107, it's like a very much so a powerful number in numerology, and it means that at around the 10th of July, within the first part of July, you are really going to be like reminded of this problem, of this difficulty, and you're going to be reminded of this difficulty, some kind of negativity, sadness, darkness, burdenish type of thing. And now when you're reminded of this like kind of burden, you know, you are at the same time going to be reminded in such a way where everything is going to become even worse. It's gonna become like some kind of like an emotional explosion when it comes to you. So it's to do with the burden that you are going to have, with an ongoing heavy difficult problem that you are having. And then the reason why you're gonna be reminded of this, it's only because it's going to, my God, it's gonna go on the next level to become even worse. And that in itself, it's really going to surprise you, and it is not going to be a nice change whatsoever. The actual tower around some kind of a burden. I mean, can it get any darker? Please don't have a go at me. This is actually going to be absolutely brilliant. What's happening right now, this energy is doing things by itself, by nipping the bud for you, my gorgeous Leonie, indeed. So be grateful. This is actually going to be really important. Sometimes we need this boom, boom, boom to happen like really unexpectedly, because things get really bad that they can't get any worse. And then after that moment in time, you're only left with one particular path to follow, the one that you've been following for such a long time, but sadly you've been slowed down. So this is gonna be good, my gorgeous Leonie. And I'm sorry, I know that I'm probably this is probably confusing. Is it confusing? Does it make sense what I'm saying? I really hope that it makes sense what I'm saying, because the 1 month is a really long time, and some of the signs do have like a more intense time than other signs. And because you are Leonie, this is July and August, this is a big mama time when it comes to you. This is when a lot happens to you naturally, because this is your time of the year. So this is nothing surprising about it whatsoever. But when it comes to that burden, sorry, I'll get to it, yeah. I'll get to it eventually, yeah. No, 86 years later, when it comes to that burden I've been talking about. 86 later, and you know that burden I said? I'm sorry, I'm just joking, I'm joking with you. Now, anyway, so at around the 10th of July, this is the time when you're going to be reminded of this burden in such a way where things are going to become even worse, like the actual tower. So this is going to throw you out of balance a little bit, but then at the same time, you know, you're not going to be shocked, you're not going to be you're not going to find this horrible, you're not going to be really sad, but you are going to be thrown out of balance a little bit, and you are going to worry a little bit. And you need this so much, because something is going to happen here, and that in itself, you're going to find yourself, you know, just posing a little bit. You're going to find yourself like realizing that, you know, you're going to find yourself like kind of just suddenly seeing things in a completely different light. So this is why this tower was so important, because after that tower, you are going to have just a little bit of a pause. You're going to do something completely different, something for your spirit, something for your soul. Maybe you will visit some kind of a spa, maybe you will go on the beach somewhere, maybe you will like kind of go to be inside the forest, maybe you will meditate. I don't know, but there is going to be the moment of relaxation that you're going to have after that moment in time, where you're going to forget about absolutely everything that happen. And when you happened, and then when you have that moment of relaxation, then suddenly you're gonna realize, suddenly this insight which is going to come to you, where you're gonna realize, you know, you're gonna start seeing things from a completely out of blue, from a completely different angle. And this in itself, it's really kind of going to be so important when it comes to you as seeing and becoming aware of this new perspective. Now suddenly this new perspective that you're going to become aware of at that moment of relaxation, or after that moment of relaxation, this new perspective, it's more about you just realizing this direction, this clear direction that you are going to have. So it's like this burden, it's going to release you. This burden is going to set you free after that hour, which is going to happen. So this in itself is really going to provide you. Just a few days later, you're going to be provided with a direction, and that direction that you're going to kind of like you just will know what your direction is. And now the difference is that you are not going to have any blockages whatsoever, and that is naturally going to put you in this mode where you are going to have some kind of premonition, some kind of a vision here, how you want things to be, how you want your life to be. And be very careful, because you know this in itself is going to bring so many ideas, but you have to be careful, because someone is going to try to wind you up, and someone is going to try to put you off from it. And the person who is going to try to put you off from it is somehow going to be connected to number 5. Number 5, maybe they're born on the 5th day of the month, or maybe they're born you know, on the 5th day. For example, you know, it really depends, you know, a month or a day, or maybe it's in the year of birth, or maybe it's going to happen at around 5 p.m. or 5 a.m., you know. But there is someone that is really going to be keep on putting you off, or try to put you off from what is going to be on your mind when it comes to that direction. But this is something that you really have to ignore as much as you possibly can. And you need to kind of concentrate, because this in itself is going to be probably one of the best possible things that you could have done for yourself in such a long time indeed. And also, my gorgeous Leonie, for example, when it comes to the actual nutrition and health, you know, I always recommend you things that I think that you should be taking, because my vitamins at the moment are on a half price sale. I highly recommend you to get like a natural vitamin D3, which is going to boost your immune system, and it's brilliant for your sensitive bones, alongside zinc picolinate, which is going to be brilliant to boost your immune system. It's super essential, and it's fantastic for your skin, hair and nails. And the third supplement I highly recommend you, it's organic chlorella. It's absolutely brilliant. It's rich in protein, omega-3 essential fatty acids, and also, like, when it comes to omega-3 essential fatty acids, our body cannot produce this by itself, but it's essential for our mind, for our brain, for our memory, concentration, for our mood. And also at the same time, it's like fantastic when it comes to detoxifying our body from the dangerous like kind of metals. And at the same time, it's also great when it comes to boosting immune system. If you would like to buy my supplements, the link is going to be in the description below. Just click on the name of this video and it's going to expand, or you just go on Google and just type in Sasha Bonasin vitamins, and my vitamins are gonna come up that way as well. If you're on any other medications, if you are pregnant, or if you are breastfeeding, you just need to check with your doctor or GP. Only your doctor or GP can tell you whether this can interact with your existing medications or not. So here is organic chlorella, here is a zinc picolinate, and here is a vitamin D3. These are made with exceptional quality ingredients, because I know my stuff, and it's without any chemicals, any additives, any unnecessary fillers whatsoever, any rubbish and crap that they put in nowadays, okay? And also it's suitable for vegetarians and vegans as well. So now, my gorgeous Leonie, I am going to start with the pretty much so the very 1st of July. On the very 1st of July, you are really going to have a moment, you know, something is going to happen to you, and it's really going to surprise you. And what is going to happen to you, which is going to surprise you, it's more about what are you actually see, and what are you actually going to come across, and why you're going to be so surprised is because you're going to feel this intensity, how much you want to do something, how much you want to do something, something, I really need you to understand that a few days later you will forget about it, but what I need you to do that, in order to kind of not let that kind of, in order for you not to ignore this, let's say, opportunity, I really would need you to understand that if you come across something like that really inspires you on the 1st of July, I really need you to kind of like get into that energy then and there. No matter what's going on in your life, no matter what's happening in your life, no matter how busy you can be, all I need you to do, and all I think that you should do, is just try to explore your options when it comes to that particular thing which is going to inspire you, because by you exploring your options, you're already going to tap into that energy, and by tapping into that energy on the very 1st of July, then this is going to return at some point later on, surprisingly, in a form of a surprise, but naturally it will go on the next stage of the spiritual journey, especially when it comes to with that particular situation. Especially when you come across this, you will know exactly what I mean. So it's important for you to remember this. The second, so that's the 1st of July. It's going to be rather important date in itself, okay? And also the fact that it's happening on the very 1st of July, the power of numerology and numbers, it's also signifying the fact this is happening on the very 1st of July, and that means that you are you have more kind of powerful energy, you're more determined, you're more kind of like determined to succeed, and it's like you're passionate, you're more passionate when it comes to number one, and the energy that it's actually attached to it, because it does give you an excess energy which elevates you at a time when you would kind of think negatively. So this is why it's also very important to kind of not to ignore the power of the actual numbers, if you know what I mean, because number one is a very powerful number, and when it happens like something that inspires you on that particular day, then that is like, oh my god, double mama, that is a double big mama for you to go for indeed. So I suppose don't ignore the opportunities, you know what I mean. The second important date, my gorgeous Leone, it's going to be really on the 3rd of July. On the 3rd of July, it's like a basically, something is really going to surprise you on the 3rd of July, 3rd, 4th, and the 5th of July. On the 3rd, 4th, and the 5th of July, you are going to have an unexpected delays, and something is really going to kind of be unexpectedly delayed, and this is really going to not necessarily make you angry, but it's going to make you just a little bit frustrated, because it is a kind of pretty much so this unexpected delays, it's a bit of a bastard in itself, because it's going to create because it's to do with creating an obstacle to some kind of long-term goals, so of course that this is something that means to you so much, but then again you need to understand that within this stage 3, 4, 5, in between the 3rd, 4th, and the 5th of July, within this stage, within this period, within these 3 days, you're already going to kind of hear a very good news about some kind of challenge, tiny little challenge that you overcame. But at that moment in time, when you hear this news, that in itself, somehow you will see how everything is connected because of that good news. This in itself is going to open your eyes, and it's going to help you to see the bigger picture here. And once that happens, you will actually understand that this unexpected it's actually going to be really good for you, because that in itself, it's really kind of going to bring an alignment into your life, and that in itself, it's really also on another hand going to this alignment that I'm talking about, it's only going to happen, and it's only going to come only because you are going to feel very courageous now. Suddenly you're gonna start feeling courageous, and that's the energy that I am really kind of talking about here. It's not only about feeling courageous, but it's more about about at that moment in time, you are going to remember something that you've discovered, something that you discovered not that long ago, and it's a lot to do with you realizing like some kind of limitless potential, but you kind of forgot about it, and now you're going to be reminded of this, and all this is going to kind of be, all this is preparing you for this particular moment. So the reason why something was like kind of delayed here when it comes to long-term goals, which is going to kind of makes you feel frustrated, there is a very special and sacred reason for it, because now within this time, within this stage, within this period, this in itself is going to give you enough time to reflect, even if it's only 2 or 3 days, but that in itself is going to create this alignment where you're going to start realize the energy and vibration is a little bit different, and each day you're going to feel more happy and more optimistic, and that in its and there are going to be lots of happy thoughts and happy memories on your mind. Pay attention to this. It's going to be crazy, but in a really good way. So suddenly you're also going to be reminded of so many happy memories and things that mean to you so much with the best people in your life, and this without you even realizing is going to be raising your vibration. It's going to start the healing process, which in return it's actually going to make you feel really courageous, and this courageous energy is going to open your eyes, and it's going to make you remember the discovery that you had not that long ago about you realizing something unique and something quirky, like it's something unique and something quirky, but it is a lot to do with like a limitless potential, and that in itself it's going to make you free spirit. That in itself it makes you really excited. That in itself it's really kind of it's going to put you in a mode to explore and to try and to do things, but most importantly you are going to feel the freedom to do whatever you want to do, like but on top of that, you're going to feel freedom to do whatever you want to do, and you couldn't have you didn't feel this freedom for quite a while now. And I'm not saying that you were like, oh my God, locked inside some kind of a prison, but you know what I mean. This is really going to bring the best out in you, indeed. And also at around that time, my gorgeous Leone, just pay attention to the actual synchronicity. By paying attention to the synchronicity, you will know exactly what is causing distraction and what is causing confusion in your life, and this is to do with your emotions, and this is to do with emotional things in your life, indeed. And also, my gorgeous Leone, when it comes to pendants, I highly recommend you gorgeous Saganite. Absolutely beautiful, ever so unique, probably one of the most significant crystals, especially when it comes to, a spiritual self-discovery and self-growth. It helps you to understand so much about yourself, about your spirituality. It helps you to go way beyond your own understanding. It helps you to tap into the world of brand new possibilities, into the world of so many possibilities you didn't even know existed. It helps you to reconnect with yourself, but it also helps you to be so much more courageous. At the same time, it helps you to gain better understanding during difficult situations as well. This gorgeous Saganite comes with sterling silver chain and the link to buy this, my gorgeous Leone, is below. By buying things from my channel, you're also supporting my channel as well. The next important date is going to be on the 10th of July. On the 10th of July, you will be dealing with this God, you're not going to like what's going to happen on the 10th of July, because it's all about you realizing that there is some kind of extra responsibilities that you are going to have, so you're going to get this news and you're going to realize, oh my God, I'm having these extra responsibilities, and this is really going to make you a little bit angry. But then at the same time, as soon as you become aware of this extra responsibility, then at that moment in time you are really going to become aware of the fact of what is manipulating your life so much. And at that moment in time, when you realize what is manipulating your life, you're just going to think why didn't I do anything about it before? But that means it's a great time of your own kind of rejuvenation here. And then also on another note, you're gonna start seeing things kind of like different than before, because this was so needed in order for you to have a deep insight, especially when it comes to what do you need to sacrifice in order, what do you need to sacrifice, what do you need to release in order to start the process of change like properly, like there is no tomorrow. Because now this manipulation, this was making you to lose control, and this was making you to lose confidence. Maybe you were surrounded by the people that were bringing you down, or maybe you are surrounded by the people who are bringing you down. Maybe you have found yourself being surrounded by the wrong people, maybe it's only one person, maybe it's somebody very negative around you who, instead of is kind of bringing you up, that person is keep on bringing you down. So you really have to snap out of it. You need to come out of it, because the bottom line is, my gorgeous Leonie, that this has been affecting your confidence pretty much. So now you will be able to kind of you will be able to come out of something really unnecessary, which is making you feel like you're walking on an eggshells basically sometimes. And this happens when you're surrounded by the maybe certain people or certain person that just karmically has slowly but surely come to an end when it comes to your life. Indeed, the next important date, my gorgeous Leon, it's going to be on the 20th of July. On the 20th of July, this is brilliant. I like this so much. The 20th of July, it's gonna be huge. It's so important, okay? Because on one hand, there is this experience that you are going to have here, and this experience, once you have this experience, your life, you're not going to see your life in the same light ever again. Okay, and once you have this experience, you will find out that there is so much more in this life, so much more that you want to do. But you're also going to realize that you have found yourself in the wrong place, at the wrong time, for way too long. Only you, my gorgeous Leonie, knows what this is. And on another note, when it comes to the 20th of July, it's not only that, but it's fantastic news and message that you are going to have. And this is brilliant, because this is going to surprise you, this news, and that you are going to have a message. Something is going to start changing, and something is going to start manifesting really quickly. And this is brilliant, with a brilliant speed. It's going to need a rapid action from you, and it's also going to need a quick decision from you, and it's also going to need to be some kind of like a traveling or journey that you are going to need to make as well. When it comes to this, it's all going to be connected to that. So why is this so important? You know why? Because now when it comes to the 20th of July, sorry, I hope I didn't say June, because this is for July, you know what I mean, But when it comes to interesting, the 20th of June, I said, and I think the 20th of June, which date is today? 20th, tomorrow is 20th of June. How strange. No, 18th, 19, 20. No, it's in a couple of days, sorry. I don't even know anymore. In a couple of days is the 20th of June, yeah? I think, yeah, it's very interesting that perhaps there is going to be a very strong connection with what is going to happen on the 20th of June with the 20th of July. So just pay attention to it, because it's going to be very interesting. But the bottom line is that let me make this simple. Not that I need to make it simple with you, extremely clever, sorry. On the 20th of July, a new phase in your life, in your spiritual journey, it's about to begin. And this is why you will have this experience, because it's this beautiful experience which is going to open your eyes, and nothing in your life nothing in your life is going to be the same ever again after this moment in time. Because on the 20th of July, you're going through your own rebirth. This is to do with a new phase, a brand new phase in your life. This is to do with your inner calling. This is to do with with your own awakening. This is to do with when you just literally kind of getting your strength back and confidence back after the struggle that you've been through that made you feel so weak. This is gonna lead towards such a fantastic emotional contentment, emotional stability, and at the same time, on the 20th of July, baby, you need to understand that you are going to walk through the sacred door. On the 20th of July 2023, you're going to walk through the sacred doors. This in itself, it's all gonna be a mind-blowing, out of this world experience, which is going to regenerate you, but it's also at the same time suddenly it's gonna make you feel like you're having a very, very strong connection to plants and herbs and nature and flowers. On the 20th of July and onwards, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, the connection that you're gonna start feeling when it comes to the actual nature indeed. And this in itself, it's also telling you how much you're actually going to change, and also in terms of you being highly intuitive, you will be able to start reading signs, so much, almost as if you're gonna be walking and now suddenly you feel attracted by the certain herb, and then you go to Google out a certain herb, and then you realize, oh, that certain herb is for a headache, and you're gonna realize, but I've been suffering from headaches for like so long now, and I've tried everything, nothing worked. And then you try this plantini that you've seen, that you came across, and then suddenly the headache is, bye darling, gone. Absolutely mind-blowing indeed. Another thing, my gorgeous Leonie, I was going to recommend you would be a blue tiger's eye. Absolutely stunning, absolutely gorgeous, and quite rare to get hold of indeed. A blue tiger's eye is fantastic to get rid of the negative energy. It's fantastic to prevent an evil eye from affecting you. And also it attracts good luck. It's fantastic for career, for finances. It's brilliant when you're making important decisions. But also the most important thing to me is the fact that it does have a power to actually unlock a pineal gland. It activates pineal gland quite a lot. And our pineal gland, third eye, psychic eye, is one of the most important parts of our bodies. Whether our people understand this or not, it what connects us and reconnects us with who we really, really, really are. Deep, powerful, spiritual beings. It helps you to find out your own truth. It helps you to go with, so much deeper when it comes to the things. Not only when it comes to your life, but when it comes to so many other things, You kind of see what's not truth, what is truth, and then you're just blown away. With foundings that you actually have. And it's all happening while you're wearing the gorgeous blue tiger's eye. This comes with a sterling silver chain, and the link to buy this is in the description below. The next important date is going to be on the 26th and the 27th of July. In between the 26th and the 27th of July, until the end of that month, there is going to be somebody who's really going to challenge you. And then when that happens, you definitely should stand your ground, but then at the same time, you just have to defend and protect your position, because you don't want this person to make you look silly, And it's like to do with somebody not very genuine, but then at the same time, it's like to do with a little conflict. But then what I was going to say is just, you have to be careful, because, that conflict, you just have to do everything to avoid like an argument. Just have a smile on your face and someone is trying to wind you up. All you need to do is just, protect your position, and don't let someone to make you look silly, okay? Because this is very, very important. And so it's not about like who's going to win an argument. No, baby, no. This is just a little bickering, It's not like, oh my God, argument. It's just a little bickering. but it's more about you kind of realizing only 2 or 3 days later, after that moment in time, this is going to be so important for you, that disagreement and that argument. You know why is this going to be so important for you, my gorgeous Leone? It's going to be important because only a few days later you are really this is going to help you to know and understand what you have to let go of in terms of bad ideas. Somehow you will know which bad ideas, somehow through this you will know which bad ideas do you need to let go of, and these bad ideas were only a temptation anyway. These bad ideas were kind of, it would create an unhealthy attachment anyway. These bad ideas were immoral and unethical anyway, and these bad ideas were also would create problems with a new endeavor, you know, so this is why this is so important, my gorgeous Leone. You see what I mean? A bit of a yin yang, you know, every good is bad, and every bad is a little bit of good here situation. So you just kind of make the most of it, because at the end of the day, this little argument is going to work in your favor, because you have to see it like an indication, like, and as soon as that happens, you need to know, okay, this is an indication about, you know, I'm going to realize which bad ideas do I need to kind of let go of, and they were quite bad, and they would later on, the bottom line is that these ideas would cause a problem with new things that you would start, you see. So this is why this is so important indeed. So now, my gorgeous Leone, I'm just going to see what is going to happen to those of you in relationship. I mean, okay, this is brilliant, because now you are basically gonna, you know, you're gonna start working on the part of your lives that mean to both of you so much. So something like terribly important to both of you, you will be able to start working on, and you will be able to continue something that was like kind of frozen in the background like for such a long time. So this is brilliant. So there is going to be quite interesting news and information that the couples are going to have right at the beginning of July. And this interesting news and information is going to kind of give you a green light when you can start something, when you can start planning something. It's not only about planning, but also when you can start like a kind of with some kind of action as well. This in itself is going to be so important, because both of you are going to feel like, oh my God, the moment of release from some kind of a bondage, you know, and it's going to help you to understand that both of you are reaching towards enlightenment, because you will realize how much this actually means to both of you. And this in itself, it's actually bringing new possibilities into your life, you know, and at the same time there is something very specific that you both learned like recently that you will be able to apply to what are you actually going to be working on right now. July is going to be so important for the couples, and I can tell you that you are really gonna make such an interesting decision at around mid-July, not the second half of July, but the first part of July. It's quite important actually. From the first part of July until the mid-July, it's about somewhere that you will go, both of you will go somewhere, and you're gonna be so inspired. You're gonna be so inspired with some kind of life, some kind of energy, some kind of lifestyle, you know. And once you go through what you both will go through, you will see things from a completely different angle when it comes to like how your life can actually be. And you're not going to be able to part with this energy. And this is going to be a sign that this in itself, it's your karma, it's your destiny for both of you to jump into that as soon as you possibly can. Okay? It's going to give you a flavor how your life could be, how your life can be. And almost as if you're both gonna feel like, oh, we don't want to waste our life anymore. Do you know what I mean? So this is brilliant. Wakey, wakey, momenty, momenty. And also, when it comes to those of you who are single and ready to mingle, you know, first of all, you're gonna feel, my gorgeous Leonie, you know, very, very, you're gonna feel very sexy, you know, you're gonna feel very like kind of attractive. And when you feel like that, you project this amount, you project this energy even more. You're gonna feel very sexy and very attractive throughout July and August. And just have some fun. Make the most of it. It's not only July, but it's also August, where you're gonna have this like very much so fantastic energy. And that in itself just requires from you to think about yourself highly. And then you're going to attract the right people into your life, because now at the beginning of July, you're gonna feel ready. You're gonna feel so ready to kind of like let someone into your life. You're gonna feel this like this determination. And also, you know, it is going to be obvious. It's going to be absolutely obvious who fancies you, who likes you. But for some reason, this is going to be putting you off. For some reason, you're going to be so indecisive and you will not understand why. And my very strong indication here is to not to ignore this opportunity. And sometimes the best people, you know, that makes the most impact on our lives happen completely spontaneously. And sometimes they also happen in such a way where at the beginning we are very confused and we are not too certain whether we like this person, and then at the end of the day, later on, when things are kind of unfold, we find out so much about this person, you know, and just sometimes it's kind of meant to be like that. And I know it sounds really weird, but it's true. So you are going to become aware of somebody very beautiful, very gorgeous, very amazing, who is going to be fancying you in July. But for some reason you're going to feel very kind of indecisive, but I can see that clearly as an intelligent, very, very intelligent choice for you, because this is someone very clever, someone very solid, someone very kind of like a really good person, and it's also going to be rather attractive person as well. But the reason why you're going to feel indecisive, I think maybe something is going to kind of surprise you about that person, and maybe, you know, emotionally you will be thinking about something else that is going to be draining your energy. So this is why you need to really kind of go with your first initial feeling. Somebody really gorgeous is coming into your life, but it's entirely up to you whether you're gonna go for this person or not. All I can say to you is, my God, this will be a very, very intelligent choice. Okay, my gorgeous Leonie, thank you ever so much for watching my videos. I'm sending you brightest blessings, lots of love, healing, peace and light to every single one of you. Sasha Bonasin, psychic medium. Love you. Bye.